Hello, beer troopers, and welcome to another beer review with me, Peter, the Master of Hoppets. Today, joined by
Asher, the Sultan of Simcoes.
And
Chris.
Yes, and we're carrying on with more beer. We're trying some barrel-aged stout. This is a beer that I got from Beerjum, the Belgian web shop I've talked about in a few other episodes of the reviews. If you follow me, they've been sponsoring me for years now. It's a great web shop with loads of different beers, and this is part of the selection of beer they imported themselves from California. This is from Thorn Brewing Company in San Diego, and this is their limited release Dark Tsar that's been aged in bourbon barrels. So bourbon barrel aged Dark Tsar, which is a 12.1% Russian Imperial Stout, slow aged, as they say, in bourbon barrels. And Russian Imperial Stout, so I guess it's going to be more of a classic Imperial Stout. And when we poured it out, it also seemed like it would be, because it was not like one of these kind of sludgy, crazy boiled or triple mashed, whatever. Imperial Stouts. But I've had a couple beers from these guys so far that's been nice, so it'll be fun to try their barrel aged stuff. So I love stouts. Imperial Stouts that's been barrel aged. If I had to pick one favorite style, it's hard, but I think that would probably be it, because I love Imperial Stouts in barrels. So nice. We'll see. So what do you guys think about the color on this one?
It's black.
Yeah.
Really opaque.
Pouring out, it was like really, really dark brown.
Yeah.
Pouring into the glass.
When you lift it up to the light, you can actually see the top of it is like coffee.
Yeah.
Coffee strong
black.
Coffee like.
Yeah. And the head on there is what would you say, Chris? Beige? Maybe?
Opaque.
Oh, opaque, the color,
Yes.
yeah. And a kind of beige head. And I think you got a yeast chunk.
Yeah,
in
I think so
yours.
too. I think it looks a bit
You want to try and fish it out with a cap?
Sure.
Let's check out the aroma. Very light, actually.
Surprisingly light.
Yeah.
I'm definitely getting the bourbon whiskey, but it's not like full on and rich. It's like a light kind of whiskey note.
Subtle.
Like oakiness into it.
Actually, a lot of oak.
Wood.
More oak than wood than bourbon, per se. But there's some dark fruit, maybe. A little bit of coffee.
Is it like prunes or something?
Yeah, prunes, yeah.
Like dark prunes.
But man, it's much lighter than I expected.
A
for
little bit of
12%
vanilla, actually. Right.
Yeah.
Like sweetness to it, but yeah.
Which must be from the barrel, but it's really light on the aroma compared to what I expected. There's also some caramel, maybe.
Caramel.
And when you say vanilla, I'm actually almost getting more of almost like creme brulee top thing with this.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
And the more I'm smelling on it, the more I'm picking up on the bourbon character, like the whiskey.
Yeah, it helps after a bit.
But it's a bit more subtle than what I've had. Like, I've had some very, 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 very good barrel-aged beer the last few months. And it's a whole lot more subtle than those. But it still smells nice. But, yeah, more subtle on the aromas. But let's try it. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks to Beerjum for the beer.
Oi.
Okay, more flavor.
Definitely.
More flavor.
Wow, it's
Very full.
Yeah, really oaky.
Very, very oaky. Like this.
Really dry, oaky, woody, and dark fruit.
Chewing on a steak or something like that.
Almost.
I think
And
it's really
really
prunish.
licorice. Yeah, prunish, licorice. Really dry and oaky, but also, yeah, licorice, I should say.
Pepper. A
Yeah,
lot of peppery.
black pepper, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also lots of dark fruit. The pruny stuff, for sure. This is like really old school Imperial Stout.
Actually, there's a lot of pepper in here. Pepper flavor.
I will say, though, the dry oakiness is too much, in my opinion, for barrel-aged beer. It's almost like you lick the outside of a wooden barrel, like licking the table.
Yeah.
Because it's so drying. So I think it spent maybe a little too much time in the barrel compared to how viscous the beer is. The beer, if it was a bit thicker, I think it would withstand it more. I think it's aged for, is it 19 months? Maybe a year? It doesn't say how long. I remember, for some reason I remember, oh no, that was a different beer, sorry. I don't know how long they aged in the barrels, but that's like my only beef with the beer. It's like,
It's very
really dry.
It's
Like,
very dry.
really dry. But if they also make an Imperial Stout with sugar, then you make it dry, and then you put it in an oak barrel, and that also makes it dry. So I don't know if they put sugar in, and it doesn't say, so they probably didn't. I think you usually need to state that on the bottle. But it's kind of like you did like a classic kind of British Imperial Stout that you put in a barrel.
It's very dry, actually. Yeah.
And that's also the reason why I'm thinking classics, because it's got a lot of this dark
For
fruit.
me, there's not a lot of flavor in it. It's like licorice and wood. Not so
Maybe
much
a bit of
sweetness.
tobacco. No, a bit of dark wood. I'd say the Imperial Stout we had earlier, you and me, was more flavorsome than this.
Yeah.
And that was not barrel aged.
There's
Actually, I'm a
lo-
little bit disappointed.
A lot of licorice in here.
Loads
Is
of
it-
licorice.
Is it just me?
No, loads of licorice. And molasses. That can be from many things. From oak, charred oak can give licorice. It can be from roasted malt. It can be from molasses. It can be from muscovado sugars. It can be many things. I think it's a nice beer. It's not a bad beer. But when you try a lot of great beers and nitpick about what's really good and what's good, I'd say this is good, but it's not like, a wow.
Mind-blowing
experience. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, I think you already said what I mean. So I don't really think I can contribute a lot. I think it's really oaky.
They're really oaky. One of the most
It's,
oaky stouts I've had in a long time.
It's almost kind of overpowering, I think.
Yeah.
But as Peter said, it's a great beer. It's not a bad beer. But I think some things could be done to like kind of take it to the next level.
Yeah, I agree. It's from 2018, so I don't know when in 18 they released it, but it's definitely a few months old, and that's nice. I mean, it's not a beer that's boozy per se. Like it's not like you're not really tasting the alcohol. You get some bourbon warmth, but that's about it. It has a little bit of this sweet vanilla, caramelly, fudgy bourbon character, without being. I'd say it without being too much. It's actually for me more oak than bourbon. But there's many things that can play into that. It could be because you had a barrel that was a bit dried out, so there's not too much bourbon left in it. It could be many things. But expect a more old school Imperial Stout with kind of like these dark fruity vibes and roasty, toasty, almost burnt vibes with loads of drying oak as well. That's what I'd say. And if you like these more old school stouts, I think you'd really dig this. But I'd say it's decent. I'm going to go like an 87. I'm actually a little bit disappointed in it. I would say it's a good base. It's a good beer, but I don't know. It's just not the kind of barrel aged stout I prefer. But 87 is still a decent grade. Nothing great or nothing mind blowing or anything. It's just a good beer, good drinking barrel aged Imperial Stout without being too crazy. So 87.
I think I'm giving it an 85 because I think for me it's kind of it's too oaky, but I think it's still a great beer. Nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, the thing is, it tastes like a good beer, but it's just too oaky and dry.
I think it definitely has potential if those things are kind of ironed out and fixed. So I think 85 is my grade.
85 for me as well. Yes, Christopher.
I actually
for
think I'll
the-
join you
actually,
as you guys on an
the-
85.
The same reasons. I actually like the beer.
Mhm.
I could definitely eat some dessert to it, like because of all that licorice. I could use some sweetness in this beer actually.
Although it does have some sweetness from the bourbon, but
Yeah,
the licorice and roast and dry
even
oak
more,
overpowers.
But even more, some dark fruits would be very nice in this beer. It's like sweet notes of raisins and stuff.
Yeah, more so because the dryness of cherry oak really overpowers a
Yeah.
lot.
Maybe that's it. I don't know, but 85 is a good beer,
But
and I would love
yeah.
to have it again.
And I'll actually join you guys on an 85 as well, because I was initially thinking it kind of like the start 80s, and I thought it was too low, and then I was like 87. But the more you sit and drink on it, it is really dry, and the dryness cuts the drinkability a lot. At least, well, I guess for all
So
of us,
we
that
all
was the
agree.
biggest beef. I'd say 85 is a fair grade. It's not the best barrel aged stout in the market at all, but I'd say if it's local to you, if you want to try it on Beer Gym, you can try it. But it's nothing I would go out of my way to get. Let's say it like that. But I would never say no to it. So that's our honest thoughts on the Thorn Brewing Company Bourbon Barrel Aged Dark Tsar Imperial Stout. Or not Tsar, like in Russia. If you guys had a chance to try this one, let us know what you thought of it. Do you agree, or do you like these kind of more oaky dry stout? Let us know. And as always, remember to comment, subscribe, check out the Facebook fan page and Twitter and Instagram. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and we're going to say cheers. See you guys in another beer.